Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Sarah Plain and Tall. Chapter 9. It was very quiet. The dogs leaned down to eat the hailstones. Seal stepped down around them and leaped up on the fence to groom herself. A tree had blown over near the cow pond, and the wild roses were scattered on the ground, as if a wedding had come and gone there. I'm glad I saved an armful, was all that Sarah said. Only one field was badly damaged, and Sarah and Papa hitched up the horses and plowed and replanted during the next 2 days. The roof had held. I told you I know about roofs, Sarah told Papa, making him smile. Papa had kept his promise to Sarah. When the work was done, he took her out to the fields. Papa was riding Jack, who was sly, and Sarah was riding Old Bess. Sarah was quick to learn. Too quick, Caleb complained to me as we watched from the fence. He thought for a moment. Maybe she'll fall off and have to stay here. Why? He asked, turning to me. Why does she want to go away alone? Hush up, Caleb, I said crossly. Hush up. I could get sick and make her stay here, said Caleb. No. We could tie her up. No. And Caleb began to cry when I took him inside the barn where we could both cry. Papa and Sarah had come to hitch the horses to the rack, and so Sarah could practice driving. Papa didn't see Caleb's tears, and he sent him with an axe to begin chopping up a tree by the pond for firewood. I stood and watched Sarah, the rein in her hands, Papa next to the wagon. I could see Caleb standing by the pond, one hand shading his eyes, watching. I went into the safe darkness of the barn when Sarah's chickens scuttled along behind me. Why? I asked out loud, echoing Caleb's questions. The chickens watched me, their eyes small and bright. The next morning, Sarah got up early and put on her blue dress. She took apples to the barn. She loaded a bundle of hay on the wagon for Old Bess and Jack. She put on her yellow bonnet. Remember, Jack, said Papa, strong hand. Yes, Jacob. Best be home before dark, said Papa. Driving a wagon is hard if there's no full moon. Yes, Jacob. Sarah kissed us all, even my father, who looked surprised. Take care of Seal, she said to Caleb and me, and with a whisper to Old Bess and a stern word to Jack. Sarah climbed up on the wagon and drove away. Very good, murmured Papa as he watched. After a while, he turned and went out in the fields. Caleb and I watched Sarah from the porch. Caleb took my hand, and the dogs lay down beside us. It was sunny. I remembered another time when a wagon had taken Mama away. It had been a day just like this, and Mama never came back. Seal jumped on the porch, her feet making a small thump. Caleb leaned down and picked her up and walked inside. I took the broom and slowly swept the porch, and then I watered Sarah's plants. Caleb leaned out the wood stove and carried out the ashes to the barn, spilling them so I had to sweep up the porch again. I am loud and pesky, Caleb cried suddenly. You said so, and she has gone to buy a train ticket to go away. No, Caleb, she would tell us. The house is too small, said Caleb. That's what it is. The house is not too small, I said. I looked at Sarah's drawing of the fields pinned up on the window wall next to the window. What is missing? I asked Caleb. You said you knew what was missing. Colors, said Caleb warily. Colors of the sea. Outside, clouds moved in the sky and went away again. We took lunch to Papa, cheese and bread and lemonade. Caleb nudged me. Ask him, asked Papa. Why has Sarah gone to do? I asked. I don't know, said Papa. He squinted at me. And then he sighed and put one hand on Caleb's head and one on mine. Sarah is Sarah. She just thinks her way, you know. I know, said Caleb very softly. Papa picked up a shovel and put on the vat. Ask if she's coming back, whispered Caleb. Of course she's coming back, I said. Seal is here. But I will not ask the question. I was afraid to hear her answer. We fed the sheep, and I set the table for dinner. 4 plates. The sun dropped over the west fields. Lottie, Nick stood at the door wagging their tails, asking for supper. Papa came to light the stove, and there it was. Soon it would be dark. Caleb sat on the porch steps, turning his moon snail shell over and over in his hand. Seal brushed back and forth against him. Suddenly Lottie began to bark, and Nick jumped off the porch and ran to the rope. "Dust!" cried Caleb. He climbed the porch and stood on the roof. "Dust in a yellow bonnet." Suddenly the wagon came around the mill, and the barn and the windmill break into the yard, the dogs jumping happily beside it. "Hush, dog," said Sarah, and Nick leaned up into the wagon to sit by Sarah. Papa took the reins, and Sarah climbed down from the wagon. Caleb burst into tears. Seal was very worried, he cried. Sarah put her arms around him, and he wheeled her wrist. "And the house is too small," we thought, "and I'm loud and pesky." Sarah looked at Papa and me over Caleb's head. "We thought you might be thinking of leaving us," I told her, "because you miss the sea." Sarah smiled. "No," she said, "I will always miss my own home, but the truth is I would miss you all more." Papa smiled at Sarah, then he bent over to hitch the horses from the wagon. He led them to the barn for water. Sarah handed me the package. "For Anna," she said, "and Caleb, for all of us." The package was small, wrapped in brown paper with a rubber band around it. Very carefully I unwrapped it. Caleb peering. Inside there were 3 colored pencils. "Blue," said Caleb slowly, "and gray and green." Sarah nodded. Suddenly, Caleb grinned. "Papa," he called. "Papa, come quickly. Sarah has brought us the sea." We eat our meal by candlelight, the 4 of us. Sarah has brought candles from town, and nasturtium seeds for our garden, and a book of songs to teach us. It is late, and Caleb is nearly sleeping by his plate, and Sarah is smiling at my father. Soon there will be a wedding. Papa says when the preacher asks if you'll have Sarah for his wife, he will answer, "Aya." Autumn will come, then winter cold with a wind blows like the wind off the sea in Maine. There will be nests of curls to look for, and dried flower all winter long. When there are storms, Papa will stretch a rope from door to the barn so we will not be lost when we feed the sheep and the cows and Jack and old Bess. Sarah roasts chickens if they aren't living in the house. There will be Sarah's sea, blue and gray and green, hanging on the wall, and songs, old and new, and Seal with yellow eyes, and there will be Sarah, plain and tall. And that is the end of that chapter and the end of the book. Thanks for listening. Bye.